Hey guys, my name is Haley and today I am going to be filming my 2017 reading goals wrap-up, which I don't know if I did great on these, so we're about to find out because I wrote down the statistics. So I'm just gonna run through everything that I said in my 2017 goals video and see how many of them I actually did. My first goal was to finish the Hamilton biography. I did not do that. I got to page a little past 300, I believe, and I had to put it down because I was not in the mood for a really dense, long nonfiction as much as I love Hamilton, and I do find it really fascinating. Last year was not the time for me to do that. My next goal was to try not to buy full series all at once. I bought this series all at once. I bought that series all at once. I've bought this whole series pretty much all at once. Yeah, no, I didn't do that either. The next goal was to try to focus on the full trilogies that I owned because I owned a ton of them. I put 10 specific ones on here and I went through to see which ones I had actually read. One of those 10 series I unhauled because I wasn't interested in them anymore, and that is the Codebreaker trilogy by, I don't even know, it was a contemporary trilogy that I just lost completely any interest in. The ones I did not get to were The Darkest Minds, His Dark Materials, and Inkheart, which the first one would have been a reread because I read those as a kid, but I never finished the trilogy. The series out of there that I did read were the Legend trilogy, the Under the Never Sky trilogy, Red Rising trilogy, the Chaos Walking trilogy, the Wake Fade Gone trilogy, and the Mistborn trilogy. So I read 6 out of 10 and I unhauled one of them, so kind of I did 7 out of 10, so there were only 3 I didn't get to at all, and I do plan to get to those ones this year. My next goal was to finish/catch up on series that I had already started, and I had specific ones for this as well. I wanted to finish the Queen of the Tyrrlene trilogy, which I did not do. I still have not read the last book. I wanted to finish the Rotten Ruin series, and I hated that series, so I unhauled that last book and never read it. So that was a DNF'd series. I wanted to finish The Lord of the Rings, which I did do. I have finished the Lord of the Rings trilogy and I'm so happy about it because I am not a fake fan anymore because I love those movies and the books were really good. Another one was Morpheus Road by DJ McHale. I don't even own the other 2 books in that trilogy, but I do still intend to read it eventually because I love DJ McHale. He wrote my favorite series, the Pendragon series, one of my favorites if you didn't know that. The next one I had was Six of Crows, which I didn't like Six of Crows, so I DNF'd that duology. Another was The Name of the Wind, which I did do. I read The Wise Man's Fear, and I read the novella, The Slow Regard of Silent Things, so I'm caught up on that series. If the 3rd book ever comes out, that would be great. I wanted to read the other book in the Hit series, which is called Strike, is the 2nd book, and I did not do that, so... The next was the Cormoran Strike series, which I did do. I am caught up on Cormoran Strike. I love that series. They're actually, where are they? Up there. I love all 3 of them so much. And then the last one was Mysteries of Cove, which is a middle grade steampunk-y series. And I have not read the 2nd book, though it did come out, I think, last year, and I need to get my hands on it. Okay, so my next goal was to read 12 Christian nonfiction books, which I surpassed by a lot. I read 18 out of 12, so did really well there. I wanted to read 3 classics. I read 2. I read Catcher in the Rye and Fahrenheit 451. They're up there in case you're wondering why I looked up there. But I didn't read a 3rd one, so close. I wanted to read 5 nonfiction books. I only read 4, which is just, I was so sad. I wanted to reread The Chronicles of Narnia, which sadly I did not do, but I definitely intend to do that this year. And the last one was I wanted to reread The Mortal Instruments and The Infernal Devices in publication order. And what happened there was I was doing really well. I read the first 3 Mortal Instruments. I really like City of Glass, so that wasn't hard. But I'm just not a big fan of the first 2. Or Clary. So I got to the Infernal Devices and I was barely able to get myself to reread City of Fallen Angels after I read the first 2 Infernal Devices books. for the first one. I don't know. I don't even remember what the publication order is anymore. But I couldn't make myself read the last 2 Mortal Instruments books to reread them. So I just reread the last 2 Infernal Devices books, which I still really like. I really enjoy that trilogy. And then I unhauled the entire Mortal Instruments series. So that one was all over the place. And then for my 2018 goals, I did say already that I want to reread Chronicles of Narnia. I set my Goodreads goal to 100 books. I read 112, I believe, last year, so that shouldn't be too difficult. I want to read 20 Christian nonfiction. That's higher than I read this past year, but I also read them pretty often, and I own like 17 right now, so I don't think it'll be too difficult, so we're gonna try. I want to annotate more, which I have been trying to do, but I've realized that I can't annotate more than 1 book at once or I get real annoyed. And I want to read all of Sanderson's main book, which are Elantris, Warbreaker, Alloy of Law, Shadows of Stealth, Bands of Mourning, Way of Kings, Wards of Radiance, and Oathbringer, and I want to read all of those this year. I don't know if I'm gonna get to like Wards of Radiance and Oathbringer. That series is enormous. They're all 3 of them over 1,000 pages, but I do really want to get to Way of Kings this year. And then I set myself another goal of reading complete series on my shelves, or like almost complete series. Specifically being the Pete Hamilton sci-fi trilogy I have up here, which is The Reality Dysfunction, Neutronium Alchemist, and The Naked God. I don't actually know what that sci-fi trilogy is called, so if anybody knows, let me know. Or if they're any good, let me know, because I really have never heard of anybody reading them. But I have heard of Pete Hamilton before, so I want to at least try that series, because I bought all 3 of them at a thrift store, which might have been a mistake. We'll find out. I still want to read the Darkest Minds trilogy up there, because there is a new one coming out this year apparently, and I was like, well, great, now I definitely have to read them this year. I want to reread the first 2, which I've already started doing. The Charlie Bone trilogy, which is a middle grade that I really liked as a kid, but I only read like the first 2 or 3, I think. Oh, you can't see them. They're over here, but I want to read this Lotus War trilogy by Jay Kristoff, because I'm trying to read all of Jay Kristoff's stuff, and I just need to get my hands on the last book so I can binge the trilogy. And I really want to read the Black Prism series up there by Brent Weeks, because I think the last one is coming out this year. So I've heard amazing things about that series, so I'm really excited to get into it. I'm just hoping that it's not gonna be really dense. And my last goal for 2018 is I want to read a bunch of the first books in series that I have on my shelves. So basically this shelf right here for the most part, and over there. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 first books in series on that shelf. And I don't own the rest of the series, but I want to try, like, get part of the way into the series before I read, or like buy the 2nd, 3rd plus books, which is what I tried to do last year and it didn't go well, so we'll see if that actually happens. There you have it. Those are all of my goals for 2018 and my statistics for 2017. Thank you all for watching, and I will see all of you guys next time.